Hey everyone! A common question we're getting about our range vs melee top guides is, why should we push his range if that's what the melee champion wants us to do? We can easily see how this is confusing, so we're going to clear that up in this video by analyzing a gameplay of TL Impact playing Urgot vs Jax. So stick around to the end as we'll finally break down this paradox where both players want the same thing. Anyways, let's break down the matchup and create some game plans before getting into the actual gameplay. Urgot is a ranged AD bruiser versus Jax, a melee AD bruiser. Since Urgot has the range advantage, he wins through poke and burst trades, where Jax will win extended trades. Also, Urgot has control of the wave, which is always the case in range vs melee. Urgot's game plan is going to look like this. Mission 1, build a slow push. To build a slow push, the only thing Impact has to do is to get the push advantage, which is easy as a ranged champion, then last hit the wave as it stacks up and crashes on the tower. And with that slow push, Jax can't fight Urgot without taking too much damage from minions. Mission 2, harass when they go for CS. A staple mission for range vs melee, Urgot wants to poke Jax with autos or his Q as much as he can when Jax goes for a last hit. And mission 3, keep pressuring this way to force solo kills, turret plating, or bad recalls. After doing this enough, Jax should get low enough that he overstays, takes a bad recall, or has to give up tower plating gold since he can't defend it. And now for Jax's game plan, Mission 1, let the wave push. Jax is less wave clear than Urgot and shouldn't be able to do anything early on without taking too much harass, so he wants to let the wave push to him. Mission 2, avoid taking too much harass for CS. Jax knows Urgot is going to poke him every time he goes for last hit, so he needs to choose what CS he's going to get carefully to avoid getting poked down. And Mission 3, look for all-in windows. Jax wins extended trades, so naturally he wants to all-in. But to do that, it will require a positional mistake from Urgot, since Jax loses this matchup if both players play perfectly. Alright, now let's get into the gameplay. As laning starts, Impact gets to lane a lot earlier than Jax because of an early jungle skirmish. This won't affect the lane that much, just because it's going to play out the same way even if they both got here at the same time, but Jax will be a few minions behind in experience. Jax is finally in lane now though, and both of them start mission 1. Impact has a small minion advantage to start a slow push, and Jax has no choice but to let the lane push to him anyway. Impact hits level 2 first as expected, so he walks towards Jax to pressure him. This seems small, but it's actually something we see low elo players struggle with constantly throughout our reviews. Standing this far up makes it so if Jax wants to walk up for a last hit, he's going to take damage as he's walking up for it, and as he's walking back. But if Impact was back at his own range minions, he wouldn't be in range to harass Jax until he was already at the minion. So positioning this way pressures Jax into not even trying to go for these few last hits. Then when Impact moves back, Jax thinks he's safe to grab this one, so he walks up, but takes some harass for it. Impact couldn't pressure that as much as he wanted to, because he would have missed one of his own last hits to do it. And like we always say, in terms of priority, CS over harass pretty much every time. Right after that, Jax grabs a smart last hit knowing that Urgot Q is down, so he can only hit him with an auto attack. After Impact autos him, he takes minion aggro, then drops it using the brush. This is another simple concept that we see many players not utilize enough in lower ranks. A lot of the time, they go for harass, then walk back in the direction of their tower instead of in the brush, so just a reminder, this works way better. Impact continues mission 2 and pokes Jax with Q when he walks up for this one. He hits level 3, and we can see the wave starting to stack up nicely now for mission 1 since he's been last hitting this whole time. But before the wave crashes on the tower, Impact makes sure to punish Jax for this cannon minion. After crashing the wave, he wants to put a ward down since we saw Kha'Zix start as a red buff, so he should be near top now. How do we know this? Well, if you haven't learned how to track the jungler, one of the easiest ways to have a general idea of where they could be is by knowing where they started and looking at your own jungler. For example, in this game, Kha'Zix started red, so he'll clear his bot side jungle, then his top side.